All right, guys, welcome back. Today we have a special training with Gilad Freimann, who's going to show you how to get the most out of 2022 using virtual assistants for your Amazon business. Welcome, Gilad. How are you doing today?
Hi, Gary. How are you? I'm doing great.
Excellent, excellent. And where are you joining us from today?
Israel, Tel Aviv.
Awesome. I just read that Tel Aviv is the most expensive city in the
Yes,
world to live in.
yes.
Is that true?
Well, it is expensive. I was surprised myself to see it. That Japan and cities like New York and London are left behind. But hey, I don't know if it's a good publicity or not. Every publicity is a publicity.
Yes, yes. But at the same time, hiring an Amazon VA can save you a lot of money. So we're going to dive deep into this
Yeah.
today. Welcome, everybody. And some of the things that Gilad is going to share is tasks that you can delegate to a virtual assistant, managing tasks for PPC, for social media, for Amazon Seller Central, even graphic design. And he's also going to show you how to effectively lead your team members or virtual assistants. And we had over 100 people that registered. Thank you for all of your questions that you submitted. I've passed them on to Gilad. He's going to try to answer as many of them as he can in this live training. If we don't get to that, please do understand that we're trying our best. So I encourage you to ask questions during the presentation as well. So because we are live, if you can see and hear us, could you please type your name and where you're joining us from in the chat, so we know everything is going well. Before we begin, Gilad, can you share a little bit about your story? How did you get started in this whole Amazon and virtual assistant business?
Sure. Well, I started before a virtual assistant. I started as an Amazon seller. I started selling on Amazon in 2015, so already like almost 7 years ago. And it was private label then, and the business grew pretty fast. And in pretty much like 2016, I hired my first virtual assistant. It was a complete disaster, and I spent a lot of time into filtering applicants, interviewing them, and all of that. And then I chose the best candidate for the job. At least I thought so. And then about a month after, she just disappeared. After I finished training her on everything I knew about Amazon, then she disappeared. Which was devastating because I had to go all over again, starting from scratch. And when it happened, almost the same way the second time, just different excuses. Then it started to ring a bell that I have to understand what's going on here. But I didn't give up. And the more I got into it, I understood that there are ways and techniques in order to find the best VAs, in order to make them stay with you, in which mistakes to avoid. And this is how VAA was created. I'm the founder of Virtual Assistant Academy, and we filter and train virtual assistants specifically for Amazon. That's what we do now.
Excellent, excellent. And I feel like everybody, no matter if you're running a business or hiring a VA, everyone's gonna run into these challenges, make mistakes, speed bumps. I've had a lot of issues hiring VAs as well, as I have shared with Gilad. So I think it's going to be super useful to get the inside perspective from someone that trains VAs and hires a whole an army of VAs to really help you guys. All right. So I'd like to quickly welcome some of those in the audience joining us today. Welcome Heidi and Al Wang from New York. Welcome Jeffrey from Oregon. And welcome Vic from Toronto, Canada. Welcome Lynn from Portland, Oregon. All right. So we have a pretty diverse audience, and I see a couple of questions coming in already, and we'll save them until a little later. Thanks Heidi and Al for the questions. And Gilad, with the questions that people have, do you want them to save them until the end, or ask them just during the slide presentation?
I don't mind you. I mean, if it's relevant to a specific slide, I don't mind you asking the question on the spot. It will be easier. I did receive many questions that many of you wrote down, and I try to adjust my presentation in order to answer a lot of these questions. But still, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer online.
Excellent, excellent. So we have a few questions already, and Let me just quickly highlight the questions, and maybe you already have them in the presentation, but I just wanted to bring them top of mind again. And thank you, Heidi and Al, for your first question. How do you hire someone to manage new product initiatives, as well as how do you evaluate a VA's performance? All right, so excellent. And for those of you guys that stay around until the end, we will have a special bonus that Gilad will be offering you guys. So please make sure to stay around until the end. And then also welcome to Fabiana from Brazil. So bom dia, and welcome. All right. So without further ado, Gilad, let's get the show started. So
yeah, I kept note of these questions, but yeah, we'll start with the presentation. Let me go on and start with my screen. Hold on a second here.
Okay, so I just brought up your screen.
All right. So do you see the presentation?
Yes, looks good.
Perfect. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to get the most of your VAs in 2022. We're going to understand why having VAs is so important in 2022, which was not really the case a few years back. I mean, and we're going to talk about the changes and what happened, and that it became so crucial to know how to work and to build a team of VAs rather than just getting along all by yourself. And that's going to be the topics. Feel free to ask questions. I'm going to touch also on more technical aspects of how to work with VAs, which tools are available, and how to avoid mistakes and so on. But we'll start from the very beginning, and that's the question that I'm asked a lot, and I wanted to share this question with you, and I think it covers everything. Basically, it's why do I need a VA? I'm currently doing everything myself and it works just fine. And there is a big problem with this attitude. The problem is that a lot of us do not really understand that online business, e-commerce, is exactly the same as old-fashioned commerce, the store, the mom and pop store on the street, or a new restaurant that is opened. And we tend to think that by just because we opened a business in front of one computer and we're sitting in front of it, then we have the power to do everything and we should do everything ourselves. And that causes big problems, and we can see how many businesses fail and do not manage to lift themselves to profitability because of that, because the person who is behind the wheel is doing everything by himself. And that's a big problem. You will see that, for example, I always tend to give this example. If you see a person opening any job, any for example, a restaurant. If you open a restaurant in New York, for example, we have people here from New York. So if you open a restaurant in New York, it's obvious to you that first of all you have to get a lot of money in advance before even starting to earn. You have to rent a place. You have to invest money in your business. You have to rent a place. You have to hire people in advance. You're gonna have to hire a chef. You're gonna have to hire a team of people to help serve the food, cook the food, accounting, and bartender and all that. And that's so obvious to us that we don't even think twice about it, that we're gonna invest so much money into it before the first customer came in. However, suddenly in front of a computer opening an online business on Amazon, suddenly you think that you can do customer service yourself and do a PPC yourself and do social media yourself and talking for hours with your suppliers in China by yourself and making everything yourself because it's just there in front of you. The problem with this is that in 2022 it's not going to work anymore. We see so many changes that made selling on Amazon much more difficult than it was before. When I started selling on Amazon in 2015, I used to sell hammocks, camping hammocks, and literally what I did is to take pictures with my phone of the hammock. This is how it was. I mean, and publish it, and it sold, and the business grew. And there was, yes, there were always competitors, and there were tricks and and black hats and all that, but in the end it was very simple. It was nothing compared to what you need to do now in order to maintain a brand on Amazon today. You have to today be everywhere. You have to be on social media. You have to really understand what you're doing on PPC. You have to create yourself a store and see who are your competitors today. Your competitors in 2022 will be those that we started seeing them on 2021, and that's all the aggregators that are purchasing more and more stores on Amazon. And what they're doing is they're taking a store and they have a team of people over there, all qualified, all trained to manage Amazon businesses. And they have everything. They have the fundings. They have everything they need to have in order to make this store work and compete against you. So now it's no longer your next door neighbor who's opened also a private label store business, and basically you're both working from home trying to find an edge to sell better. It's you against a team of people with endless amount of money, and you have to be better than them. And the only way to do it is to be in the same level as having a team of people helping you, understanding that your job is to do the thinking, understanding where you want to take this business to the next level, doing only the things that you as an owner of a business can do. And that's crucial for succeeding in 2022. If you're going to continue doing everything yourself, you're going to end up with a lot of troubles. They even have a name for it. It's called the Superman syndrome. The Superman syndrome looks like this. You think that this is you in the beginning of the voyage, and you're doing everything yourself, and you're doing the customer service and the shipment plans and creating the listings and optimization, everything. Two things happened after a while. The first thing is that you see that the more the business grows, the more listings you have, the more products you have, then the more troubles you have. The more time it takes you to everyday jobs, to answering people, to maintaining the excellence of your listings, to doing the PPC for all your products, to doing everything yourself takes a lot of time. And in the end of the day, you just see that you cannot do everything yourself. So you start to give yourself some discounts. You start to, if you used to do PPC on all your keywords and checking all the bids every day, and now you're going to do it every second day, and after that you're going to do it every 3 or 4 days, and after that a week, and before you know it, you do it like once in 2 months, because you think that everything okay. I see listings on Amazon that still says 10% discounts for Christmas of 2020. and you see that it means that people did not go and visit their own listings for a year. Why? Because they're probably doing other things. They think they have so much things to do that they don't really notice the everyday's work, because they have so many things. So that's one thing, that you just see that you cannot do everything yourself. So some of the things are going to be left behind. And the second thing is that will happen is that it will make you tired. It will make you tired because you are doing everything yourself. You will see that suddenly you're starting to work, and there is a cliche that says that you're working in the business instead of on your business, but that's actually what happens. You're doing all the everyday tasks that takes so much time and effort without really being the entrepreneur that you wanted to be, without really taking your business to the next level, because you're just too caught up in doing the everyday tasks. So in the end of the day, getting yourself tired, you're becoming this type of Superman, and this is what we're trying to avoid in here, and we're going to talk about it. So we're going to talk to see what we should do ourselves and what we should give to somebody else do instead of us, and that's going to be the topic of the next couple of slides. How could a VA help your business? The first thing that a VA can help you with is the work that must be done on daily basis. When I say must be done, it means that if nobody does it, then the business collapses. Okay, if you get a question, or somebody's contacting you by a message on Amazon, you have 24 hours to reply. If you're not replying, then Amazon will get upset on you. So that's something that you must do. If you get a negative review or negative feedback, you have to do something about it. You cannot just let it go and see what happens. Your sales will drop. You have to do something about it. So these are all things that you must do daily basis, but it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to do them. You can have a VA that's all their jobs, her or his job is to make sure to do all the repetitive things that the business needs to do every day on daily basis, but it doesn't have to be you. The second point is all the advanced work you would normally postpone. So these are no longer things that you have to do in order to stay in business. These are the things that you always said to yourself, I'm gonna get there once the business grows. Once I hit 50K a month, then I'll have time to start working on my social media. Then I'll have time to start listening to this webinar that I really wanted to listen to, how to get external traffic on on Amazon, and all these things, they're left aside because you're caught up on doing things from point number one. So a VA can help you also in doing these things that you would normally postpone, because a social media VA could help you into posting regularly on Facebook instead of you doing it or trying to post here and there. You have somebody that's their job and helping you succeed. So that's point number two. The third point is giving you the freedom to manage your business instead of working in it. We talked about it a little bit before. Your idea is to manage the business, not doing everything in it. And so you always have to think and ask yourself the question: are the things that I'm doing now could be done only by myself as the owner of the business, or somebody else with the right training, with the right attitude, with the right capabilities, but somebody else can do these tasks for me? If the answer is yes, then you should definitely not do it yourself. You should give it to somebody else to work on it, so you could focus on only the things that you can manage yourself. And when I'm saying freedom to manage your business, I don't mean by sitting on the beach with like this picture that I see so much. I at least I saw so many times before when people are selling courses and things like that. This is not managing your business. Your time should be spent on thinking where you want your business to be in a year from now, in 5 years from now, what you want to learn more, and take decisions so your business will grow. And the fourth point is actually selling your business, and this is something that people don't think a lot about when they're starting their business. But when the business grows and you already have a big volume of sales, then you start to think about it. But there is a huge difference between selling your business, who's completely dependent on you as a solo entrepreneur who is doing everything yourself, and selling a business who's working like a machine with a team of VAs that each of them knows exactly what they need to do. And basically you're there just to take the decisions. And somebody else can take your business from you and manage the decisions, but they don't have to do everything themselves. That's a huge difference between selling or not selling your business, or selling it in the right price.
Yes. And Gilad, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
If I can just weigh in for a
Sure.
minute, I feel that's very critical. These 4 points, as the saying goes, you want to be working on your business, not just in your business. So especially for my business, there's no way I could do everything myself, from checking the 24-hour customer service, customer messages on Amazon, to like sending out all the emails, and like contacting a supplier and dealing with everything myself. So I feel like
Right.
a VA can definitely free up your time to do that. As well as point number 4, selling your business. As of today, it's definitely a seller's market right now. You see aggregators like Thrasio, they've raised like $2 billion. And I think the whole market has raised like $12 billion in the past 2 years. So it's really, really hot. But if you're like a one man or one woman show, like, Gilad's Amazon business, you can't sell yourself to Thrasio, right? But if you do have SOPs, if you have a team, that's a lot more transferable, and then that's more attractive to the eyes of an aggregator, and that could increase your selling price or your multiple. So just some things that I'm seeing to complement this. So excellent, thanks, Gilad. Let's keep going.
Yeah, exactly, and these are things that we did not see a year ago. Thrasio was not in the same place where they are now, and 2022 will be a crucial year for those who want to sell their business and want to prepare for selling their business and grow the business to a level which could be sold. So you should use 2022 in order to build a team, build the SOPs, create the infrastructure in order to sell your business in the price that you would like to sell it. So thanks, Gary, and I'll continue. And now we're going to go to Amazon. Okay, until now it was really like theoretical talk why you should need VAs, but we already agree that at least I hope that you agree that in Amazon of 2022, it's not enough to do everything yourself. And yes, you could have a team of 20 VAs helping you. And we work with a lot of brands, big brands that have much more than only 4 VAs. And yes, only one VA could also do the job. But if I have to think about, what is the optimized way to start with, I mean, if you could afford it, it would be this. It would be 4 different types of VAs, each one of them specializing in one aspect of your Amazon business. So like I said, if your business is really big, then you could have an Amazon VA that instead of an Amazon VA, you could have an Amazon manager who's going to manage a team of VAs, that one of them is in charge of inventory, one of them is in charge of customer service, one of them is in charge of creating listings. That's all fine, but let's talk about the average here. So I would say these are the 4 different departments that you would want to have in your Amazon store. And what we're going to do is we're going to go one by one and see. I'm going to give some examples of the things that you should give to a VA to start handling instead of you, so you could really be in the place that you want in order to advance. And
Gilad, could I?
Yeah.
Gilad, I love how you're breaking this down into the 4 types of Amazon VAs. I'd like to ask people watching us live today, which type of VA do you need the most right now for your business? Just take 1 minute, think about your business, whether it's a general Amazon VA, I believe that's for Seller Central, or so if you can type 1 for Amazon VA, 2 for PPC VA, 3 for social media VA, or 4 graphic designer VA, which one do you need the most in your business? And please type that in the chat right now, so Gilad and I can know more about your number 1 challenge. All right. So meanwhile, Gilad, let's keep going, and we'll come back to what people say in a minute. Yeah, thanks.
And I can tell you already that what I see from, I mean, let's put aside graphic designers because everybody needs, some graphic designings to be done. So let's put it aside. This is a more professional way of working with them, and a lot of times it could be done project based. But let's talk about the first 3 types of VAs: Amazon VA, PPC VA, and social media. Usually what we see is that the first VA taken by sellers is an Amazon VA, because this is where you're stuck in the very beginning. This is where you're stuck because you just notice that you're doing everything yourself, from creating the listings and optimizations and all that. We're going to talk about it in a minute. PPC, you could already see that you're in a point where your listings and the infrastructure is built correctly, and now you want to start promoting it and selling more and more stocks and units. So that will be the PPC department. Social media is really like when you understand that you have the right product, you have the right niche, you have PPC is working well, and now it's time already to start creating your brand awareness. We're going to talk about that as well. So let's start with the first one, the Amazon VA, and I'm going to give here some examples. Obviously, I will not include everything that's possible that could be done by an Amazon VA. It's just ideas for you to see and ask yourself: are you currently doing them yourself, or is it something that somebody else, a VA, could help you take from you? So it will start by obviously the very basics. If you're creating several listings, if you have several products and you keep launching new products, then somebody would have to create these listings, not just typing the copy of it, but also doing the right research of the keywords, doing competitor research, creating the listings technically inside of Seller Central, indexing, checking them all the time, and this is also something that should be done on a regular basis, not just by in the beginning when you're launching your first your product, but it's a keyword research should be done all the time, should be done also according to the period of the year. There is a different keyword research that you're doing for before Christmas compared to before different part of the year. So that's something that your Amazon VA should be doing for you all the time, showing you where you're at compared to your competitors in the main keywords, for example, checking your indexing that you're still ranked and everything is working according to what you want. So that's the first point. The second point, which becomes crucial in the end of 2021 and will definitely be also playing a major role in 2022, and that's checking your inventory. Without inventory, with all that's happening in China and shipment that takes forever and cost like multiple times, then you have to already make sure that you have enough stocks on Amazon. If you're out of stock, then you lost, game over. You have to start all over again and ranking again. So you have to make sure that you have your VA, making sure that you have enough inventory, working together with your third party supplier, wholesale business in the States, or working with your suppliers in China or everywhere else that you're manufacturing, and making sure that creating the right shipment plans all the time, communicating with them, checking when it should be done, and making sure that you always have units available to sell. So that's point number 2. ASINs management, I mean, like always checking every day, preventing the mistakes that I mentioned before, that you forgot to mention that you changed the bullet to announce on a certain discount, and then you forgot about it, and it was left over there for months. So making sure that all your main reviews, like the top reviews that are over there, are the top reviews that you want them to be, that all the Q&As that are over there are the ones that you prefer to be, and if not, play with them a little bit, so you'll have exactly what you need, and making sure that you always have enough units, that nobody was hijacking your listings, and so on. Basically, going over there, checking that everything is okay, that all your variations are active and working, and basically just making sure that everything is okay. Inventory reconciliation. Yes, today there are so many companies that are doing it, but this is something in addition that VA can help you with. So you're working both with the software and with the VA. Sourcing for new products and working with your suppliers. It doesn't mean that you have to do it yourself. A VA can help you do the majority of the work. It's still your decision if you want to launch a new product according to the criteria that you decide. But the VA can go for hours and checking the departments and the sub-departments and the sub-departments inside of Amazon, working with Helium 10, working with Keepa, checking the different criterias, and then doing the competitor research, like I mentioned before, working with your suppliers, asking them about changes, giving you all the details about the amount of time to manufacture, the cost, and so on. So definitely a work for a VA. And opening cases with Amazon. This is not, staying on the phone for hours and waiting for a representative. It's really one of the things that I hated when I did it myself. It's with all the frustration on it, and especially when in times like this, if you have to wait for hours for somebody to correct something on Amazon, that's definitely a job for a VA. You'll be surprised that a lot of them, these guys on Amazon support, are also Filipinos. So when you have a Filipino helping a Filipino, then you'll get better results a lot of times compared to your capabilities. So, but this is it's funny, but it's true. And so these are the things that I was gonna talk about. Just ideas, customer service, obviously, especially if you're doing FBM, but also for those doing FBA, working with your customers. Review request. We talked about it, Gary, the last in Seven Figure Seller Summit. I think it was in the end of August that I gave a lecture over there about how to get reviews using your VA. So that's definitely something that an Amazon VA can help you with, creating chatbots and then calling your customers, talking to them, and getting your extra reviews. So all of these are connected to an Amazon VA. I think I'll go directly to the PPC VA, Gary, unless there are questions, in order for us to cover the most of this presentation.
Yes, Gilad. Sorry to interrupt. There is a question.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, first off, I want to share that cases with Amazon, that's such a huge time suck. With my Amazon business, whether sometimes you're dealing with a listing that's suppressed and back and forth, and you're forced to resubmit the same document like 5 times, 6 times every single day, right? I mean, it could free up a ton of time. So rather than dealing with that, at the same time, I'd like to highlight a couple questions related to Amazon VAs, if you're okay with that. So Heidi and Al Wang asked, I think this is a common concern. How do you prevent VAs from taking your ideas, products, and start doing something that they are not supposed to? And also, how is hiring a VA overseas versus someone part-time domestically? I assume in the US. So could you quickly weigh in on those?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, the first question, there is no bulletproof way to prevent things from happening. Once you decided that you want to delegate, and that's your only way, remember that that's your only way to actually grow your business. You have to let go of responsibilities in order for you to focus on growth. And so when getting new people into your business, it means taking a risk. The ways to prevent it, once you understand that there's always a risk, doesn't matter if that person sits next to you in your office in the States, there's always a risk. So the way to prevent it is, first of all, to make sure that you're finding the right people, that you're putting a lot of effort into recruiting people that are you can trust on them, that you really see that they're eager to learn and become a part of your family and a part of your business, and not just there to copy you and move on. But I have to say that this is more about our fear than what's happening in reality. In reality, I've been doing this, connecting Amazon VAs with sellers for, this is our 5th year. Not a single case that happened that this actually happened, because we have to understand we are working with virtual assistants. They're not Western entrepreneurs. They don't have the same amount of funds in order to start their own business. They don't inspire this is not what they want in life, to create, to become entrepreneurs. That's so it's really not the right question, because this is not usually what happens. I don't know a single case like that. And also, I mean, it's something that when working with a VA, then you slowly get them more and more responsibilities. So you could give them the task of finding new products later on, once you really see that you're trusting them, and not on day one of working together. That's the short answer for this.
Excellent. And can you speak quickly about the pros and cons of hiring VAs overseas versus someone part-time domestically? And Gilad, I understand you focus on the Philippines for your virtual assistants. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'll be talking about the Philippines, because this is what I know and been doing for the last 5 years. So first of all, there is the money issue. I mean, it costs much less to hire somebody from the Philippines compared to somebody from the States. You can also hire a Filipino to work for you part-time and not a full-time job. Their English level is very high. They are very much customer service oriented. I would say much more, at least I'm an Israeli, so much more than Israelis. But I would say compared to the Western world, they are very much customer service oriented. They are here to help you in your business, and they're eager to learn and advance with you. And they're really they could do repetitive work that usually we can't. So doing it day after day after day, and succeeding in it without starting to drop here and there. So these are qualities that you would see in the Philippines, with really great people that you would want them to be a part of your business, and it would cost you a third of what it would cost you in the States.
Excellent. All right,
Not
let's
to
keep
mention,
going,
you know,
guys.
all not to mention all social aspects of it that you have in the States when hiring somebody, you know, full-time or part-time to your business, you know, social security and days off and all these, you know, it's different from hiring a freelancer from the Philippines. But that's already like another conversation. So yeah, if there are no questions, then I'll move to the PPC.
Yes, let's keep moving in hiding analysis.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So PPC VAs, I'll start going a little bit fast, but the idea is the same. You think of all the things that you're doing now at the moment, or maybe you spot here things that you're not doing at all. Bid optimizations, like going over the bids, checking them, even if you're using a software. You know, a lot of times the best, I don't believe that much working with fully automated softwares. I always prefer it to be a semi-automated one. So my VAs could work, the PPC VA could go over and see what needs to be changed, what's okay and what's not okay, and see the recommendations, and then work together with them for the bids optimization, making sure that the ACOS is in the right levels, doing the keyword research. We talked about the holiday changes. It also applies to, you know, all your campaigns and groups. So creating all the research and implementing them in your campaigns, understanding all the different reports and continue to optimize your campaigns all year long. You know, every week getting the reports, understanding, putting the right keywords into negative, into exact, understanding all the different aspects of the reports, and then obviously understanding all the different aspects of doing PPC on Amazon, especially these days for brand registered. There are so many, you know, video ads and product targeting and sponsored display. There are many options that did not exist, you know, when I started selling on Amazon, and you could not keep up with the changes unless you really have somebody who's dedicated to continue to learn and advance and knowing exactly everything on Amazon. So these are just a few example in here, but people think, you know, because we do so many things ourselves, then we tend to do PPC, like, you know, to spend an hour or 2 hours a week, and that's in my opinion, that's a mistake. You should have somebody working for your on your PPC every day, you know, at least like 2 hours a day, in order to make sure that nothing is is left, you know, for chance. Your spending are there exactly what you want them to be. Your earnings are what you want, and that's why you have to have somebody on it all the time. Social media VAs, like I mentioned, this is already when you want to start creating brand awareness. I'm not talking about Facebook ads or Instagram ads. I'm talking about really posting content regularly on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, creating this brand awareness when people are checking you out. Either when they see your listings on Amazon, you'd be surprised how many of them are checking you out on Facebook, checking to see if you're legit, if you trying to see if they could connect with you, and also if they already purchased your product on Amazon and they liked it, now they're looking for you on social media to see if you have anything else that is interesting, if they could be connected to your brand. So the first thing that a social media VA would be creating and managing your Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest pages or Facebook groups. If you want to have, you know, a smaller amount of followers that will be in a closed group in which you will give them some benefits and tutorials and things that are important for them to continue to be a part of your brand. Working with influencers, that's a huge thing. I'm talking about micro influencers, not the huge ones out there, but really to find the right people that could be connected to your brand, that really see in, you know, from the same niche, seeing the same things as you, that you really feel connected to, and then working with them on a plan of, you know, it could be by creating some sort of a deal or whatever. But, you know, having influencers, not just one, but like an army of influencers working together with you, and every time promoting you when you're launching new products, when you want more reviews, when you want more exposure, then your VA could be the one finding the influencer, communicating with them, and after that even communicating with your potential customers if they're interested in the deal or in your brand. So that's definitely a job for a social media VA. Amazon Posts, it's something that started about a year and a half ago, and it's becoming a huge in the States. It's still free, so you should take advantage of it. It's not going to be it's not going to stay free forever. It started like this with all the other main features that Amazon allows. Remember, lightning deals were free in the beginning, and guess what, not anymore. So Amazon Post is still free, and this is a copy from what Amazon says about themselves. The idea is that you are using Amazon as a social platform, and you can post over there several times a day. It looks like a Facebook posting. You can post about everything that you want over there, and it will be posted not just on your listings but also on your competitors' listings. So somebody can read all your competitor listings, be really excited about it, be prepared to purchase the product, and then see your post about the most important 10 things you should know about buying whatever, and then they will click on it, they will read the article that you wrote, and then they will be in your listings. So this is something that definitely a social media VA. This is, look how it looks like. It really looks like a social media platform, and that's basically what Amazon is trying to do. So as long as it's free, it's and maybe probably after, it's still very much worth for your social media VA to focus on it and post several times, even a day, or at least once a day, and checking the results. Amazon is giving you the input. You could know what's how many people clicked a certain ad, a certain post that you created, what's working, what's not working, and then improve it. It's very effective. So these are talking about different types of VAs. I said it where we have a limited amount of time. So based on your questions, I wanted to go over a little bit about understanding like how to work with VAs, how to work with multiple VAs, which is different from working with just one VA. So first of all, communication. There are several ways that you could communicate with your VA. Obviously, there is WhatsApp and Skype and Google Hangouts. That's really the basics, but I use it all the time. I'm talking every day with my VAs one-on-one, communicating on WhatsApp, recording messages while I'm, walking with the dog, and working with my VAs on WhatsApp. But basically, it's whatever it is that is convenient and comfortable for you. After that comes software such as Slack, which is free. It costs up to $8 per month for user, but you can definitely use it for many months, if not years, with the free version. And it looks like this. It's already like a sophisticated WhatsApp that allows you to work to create different topics and different channels over there, and it's all kept over there with all and it's easy to search for something. So that is a very good way to work with a team of VAs, that each one have their own channels, and they can communicate one with the other, and it works great. So that's Slack. And obviously there's Zoom. I feel like I don't need to explain about Zoom anymore. I used to explain to people about Zoom before COVID, when we were using it with the Filipinos. But now, who doesn't know about Zoom? So Zoom allows
We all
you,
live on Zoom now, don't
yeah,
we?
right. So it's something that needless to say, but you can see here that how effective it is when you can work with a team of VAs from the Philippines, each one working from their own home, and you can have a conversation. And I would definitely not skip video calls at least once a week, talking with your VAs with a video, seeing where what's going on in their life, and seeing them, not just working with them on WhatsApp and Slack and emails. Really see the person behind all these tasks, and connect with them. So these are the most available and easy to use options for communication with your VA. If you have questions after, Gary, feel free to stop me. But I'm gonna continue to the next step, which is managing. So managing VAs, there are also several options. There are Google Docs and wiki, Google Sites that will help you to create SOPs, and it doesn't mean, by the way, that you have to create these SOPs. Your VAs could create these SOPs for you, and it's up to you to approve them. It's a very good and effective way to see that your VA understood exactly what they need to do, and it's a way for you to see that everything is working correctly, and then you have somebody creating your SOPs, which could be used after with all the other VAs that will start working for you. Trello and Asana, I will mention both of them in the same sentence. Two tools that both they cost pretty much the same, and both have a free option version for them, and they're very user friendly. I used to work with Trello in the beginning. Now we work with Asana, but they're very much similar, and you can work over there with a list of tasks. You can delegate easily tasks to a big amount of people over there, create different channels. Again, this is not really just for communication, it's more for tasks and calendar and working together, and you should definitely check it out, and it's working great. There are many other tools available. These are just the two that most people are using, but there are definitely dozens of more options for you to work for. But remember that it makes your life much easier when working with these type of tools compared to just giving tasks by email and forgetting about it after. Monitoring and security. This is also a question that I was asked before the live. When somebody's asking like, how can I make sure that my VA would not use my access and get my bank details and everything? So the answer here is that for security reasons, you will never give your VA your own username and password. Your VA will never know them, and if you will give your VA your username and password, then probably what will happen is that your account will be restricted or blocked. So because it's not according to Amazon TOS. The way to do it is to give your VA a user permission. A user permission is an option that exists inside of Seller Central, and then you add over there the email address of the VA, or you create an email address for your VA to be used when working with you, and then you decide exactly over there. You can see here from the photo. You decide exactly which menus the VAs will be able to see, view, edit, and you can give also some admins options over there. So if you click none, then the VA will not even be able to see that this menu exists. So if you click on none on for example your bank account details, then your VA will not even know that there is an option over there. It's not like going to be covered. It will not exist. So you can decide exactly what you want VA to be to watch, to see, to be exposed to, and to edit and to do and you can always change it. So change it after. So you can start by giving your VA very little amount of permissions, and then as the VA continues to work with you, you can always give more and more tasks. The second tool that is great, at least for the beginning, I don't use these type of tools anymore, but it's important for you to know that they exist. Time Doctor or HubStuff, they're both like being the big brother, looking exactly behind the shoulder of your VA and understanding exactly what your VA been up to. You can see over here like when they logged in, when they logged out, how much time they worked. You can get information here about everything that you want, from the GPS location of your VA to getting screenshots to getting alerts if the mouse of the VA or the keyboard was not moving for a half an hour, for example, getting a percentage of work. So it never ends. I personally prefer to spend much more time into recruiting the right people that I can see that they're eager to advance and learn and become a part of the team. And then if they are finished everything in an hour, even though they have 2 hours, they will come to me and say, I've finished everything, and do you have anything else that I can help you with, compared to those that will just use the 1 hour and go to sleep or do something else, and then you can see it in the software. So that's a different way of working, but you can definitely use that, at least in the beginning, if you're not sure of the quality of your VA.
That's a great tip. And Gilad, just to keep our eye on the time, we have about 10 minutes left.
All right.
And also, will you be talking about the budget to hire VAs?
Yeah, so I'm
costs and
gonna finish in like about 3 minutes from now, for something like that, and 5 minutes top,
Okay.
and then we'll have some time for questions. So that this is just about talking about the biggest problem of Amazon sellers. Once decided that you wanna take in VA, the first problem is, where do I find a good and trusted VA? It takes forever to find them. If you post an ad, you will get hundreds of people coming your way, all saying that they're experts, all saying that they have experience and they are the perfect match for your business. The problem is that most of them are not. So where do you find a good and trusted VA? And even once you have them, who has the time to teach that VA on Amazon? So these are the two problems that I had when I started selling, started working with VAs. Like I said, I had very bad experience in the beginning when I started working with my first and second VA, and that was the reason that we've created the VA. So just in about a sentence, because I can talk forever about how to find the right VAs and how to filter them, and we have a full recruitment department just dedicated to find the right people. So basically, in a nutshell, VA, we specialize in matching Amazon sellers with dedicated virtual assistants, all from the Philippines. We invest a lot of efforts into finding the right people. It takes us almost 2 months until we find the right VAs. We're looking for their character. We want to see their motivation level and dedication, and how eager they are to learn more, and if they're capable of learning complicated things. And then we train them specifically on Amazon. We have different departments. So different people will go to the PPC department, to the social media, to the Amazon department. I've created our departments according to exactly what I've just mentioned here, because that's what I needed for my Amazon business. And we continue to train them all year long according to every changes that's happening on Amazon. We have a training department and team leaders and managers, all dedicated for the knowledge of the VAs and making sure that they continue to progress. And we also support the sellers that we're working with to make sure that they know how to work with their VAs, that their work is optimized, that they know which mistakes to avoid, that they're aware of all the different tools that they are available for them. So we want to make sure that this will be a match for years to come, and their VA will not disappear after a month because things did not work out. So that's about us in general. I'm gonna leave this slide here. So if you want to contact us, if you have any questions, even if it's just a question, I'll be happy to answer and help you find your own VA. But you can go on our website, vaphilippines.com, or contact us by email here at service. But you can just scan this QR code and schedule a talk with me, and I'll be happy to give you more details and answer all your questions.
Excellent. And I've also dropped a link in the chat. If you like
Right.
to book a free call with Gilad, you can go to his Calendly link. And as he said, even if you just have a question about hiring VA, why not ask an expert? I think that can save you a ton of time. And I'm also testing Gilad's Amazon VA service as well. We're working on bringing on a new hire, so hopefully I can report back in a few months if we get some positive results. So thank you, Gilad, for this great presentation today. So let's leave that slide up and let's answer a couple questions. So we have about 5 minutes left, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. And then I also have a whole bank of questions we have pre-submitted. So I'd like to get to Heidi and Al's question earlier about what kind of budget to hire a VA. Can you talk a little bit about the costs?
Yeah, well, the cost in the Philippines will vary from $4 an hour to I'm talking about Amazon VAs from $4 an hour to about $8-9 an hour. It depends on the experience. It depends on the type of VA. A PPC VA will probably usually cost more. Also, social media will cost more because it's a different set of skills. but that's usually the cost. Yes, you will be able to find VAs with even $3 an hour. It sounds very low, and sometimes even less than that. I would not go there, because then you're basically paying them below the minimum rate in the Philippines, and because it's so low, then these VAs usually they don't stick. They will start working with you just to get experience, and then they will move on to somebody else, and basically they're using you in order to advance. So it doesn't cost a lot. So find VAs at the end that you can pay them a little bit more, and have somebody stable with you for a long time.
Excellent. All right. So let me take a look at the questions we have in the chat. I mean, that were pre-submitted. So we talked about hiring and training. We talked about security. And can you talk a little bit about, there were some questions about getting VAs with Amazon Seller Central experience.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about your training? Like when you hire an Amazon Seller Central VA, what sort of how do we need to train them, or are they already well versed?
Well, our VAs, they are already trained on Amazon. What we do is once we finish with the recruitment process, like I said, it takes us almost 2 months. So, but in the end of it, then we divide these VAs into the different departments according to their skills. And with the Amazon VAs, they first of all they are trained on everything that we can think of on Seller Central, except for PPC, which is a different department. So it will be like customer service and shipment plans and inventory levels and opening cases with Amazon, and creating the listings manually, and using flat files, and asking for reviews, feedbacks, indexing, almost everything that you can think of, understanding the different reports, calculations of budget, and so on. So a lot of things we continuously train them all the time. So a lot of times we get ideas from new trainings from the sellers whom we work with. They say to us, "I wish my VA knew more about Excel." And then we've created a special training on Excel, so they could create better formulas, and create better reports to their sellers. So we always continue to develop their knowledge.
Excellent. And then our next question is, are you able to hold a VA accountable for their work like a company would here in the US? How would you do that?
Like, what do you mean by accountable? Like, if the VA is making a mistake, then if you could blame the VA for that. I mean, if that's the question, then usually no. The answer would be no. I mean, not a single VA. If you're hiring VAs directly, then you cannot really blame them. You hire them, and now they're working for you. So it's up to you to make sure that they know what they're doing, and they're working directly with you. But also, if you're hiring through an agency, for example, with us, we are not a management company, so we will not have access to your accounts. We do not watch over the shoulder of the VA and making sure what the VA is working. Our job is to find the best VAs out there, making sure that they're trustworthy and capable, and then train them everything they need to know about Amazon. But after that, in the end of the day, it's still you who's going to be managing the VA, and it's up to you to make sure that the VA knows the things that you want them to do, because everybody's doing things a little bit differently, and delegate little by little until you feel comfortable in giving these tasks to the VA to minimize your risk of mistakes. But mistakes still happen all the time. That it's only natural, and it doesn't matter if your VA is coming from the Philippines or working next to you in the office. There are always people making mistakes, so you have to know about it, and you have to work together with your VA by sharing your screen, by getting reports, by understanding where is the difficulties, in order to make these mistakes to the minimum.
Excellent. All right. So those are all the questions that we had, and I'd like to quickly mention that Gilad and Virtual Assistant Academy Philippines were a sponsor at the last Seven Figure Seller Summit. And in case you missed it, and we won Seller Poll's favorite Amazon conference again. So we won 2 years in a row, 2021, 2022. We were voted the #1 Amazon conference event, and this was online. If you didn't catch it, we decided as a special gift to you guys and to celebrate, we've relaunched the summit. So if you didn't watch before, you can get a free pass for limited time at sevenfiguresellersummit.com. And I would highly recommend that you check out Gilad's session there as well to get even more insights about hiring VAs and best practices. All right. And besides that, we have a quick question. Can we, Barbara asks, do the VAs do creative work and do they have marketing understanding? Gilad.
So creative, you mean like by graphic designing, video editing, things like that?
Barbara, if you can let us know in the chat before we go,
well,
that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer anyway the question, assuming that this is that was the question. So I did not discuss it before, but like you saw in the slide, there were 4 different types of VAs. The 4th type was a graphic designer. Yeah, I see that the answer is yes. So the 4th type was a graphic designer. We separated because it's a different type of people with a different knowledge. The knowledge is more professional. What we do is we filter them to make sure that they have the best professional knowledge and on Photoshop, on Illustrator, and that they're creative enough, and then they join our team. And then definitely these VAs, we train them on Amazon, so they use their knowledge on Photoshop and on creative in order to create better Amazon stores. So they know about A plus stores and how to create the best photos and infographics and video ads. So yes, we do have VAs that are specialized on graphic designings for Amazon.
Excellent. All right. So that's all the time we have today. If this was helpful, I highly recommend you take advantage of the free call with Gilad. There's his Calendly link where you can scan his QR code. And Gilad, I'm all about the 80-20 rule. So if you were to distill down everything you talked about today, what's the number one recommendation for people that want to get the most out of 2022 when hiring a VA for their Amazon business?
Well, the most important 20% is to understand that things today are not as they were before, and delegating, even if it means that you're gonna prepare your year already with the investment needed for delegation, but you have to calculate this as a part of your business in order to grow your business. The only time that I started when my business grew is when I started to delegate, when I understood that my time is limited and I can't do everything myself, and if I want to focus on growth, the only way I can do it is by delegating. So yes, you could always improve your way of working with your PPC VA. You could always learn more about how to work with an Amazon VA and change things and so on, and change softwares. But the understanding that that's the way to advance. The step 1 would be to understand that letting go is crucial when working online, exactly as when working in a restaurant, like I mentioned before.
Excellent. That's so true. And when I asked a small group of 7-figure Amazon sellers what was their number one mistake, the number one answer was hiring too late. So absolutely, if you guys do need to, grow, scale, and exit in 2022, if you haven't already, I would highly recommend you book a call with Gilad to get some help. I mean, obviously you can do it yourself as well, but it would take more time to hire and to train. So time is money, guys. All right, Gilad, thank you so much for the excellent training today. I learned a lot. I'm sure everyone else did too. And thank you everybody for joining. Hopefully this is helpful, and we will see you guys at the next session. Bye everyone.
Thanks guys. Bye. Take care.